It's Saturday, the 26th of May, 2018, and this is your EV News Daily. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're listening around the world. A very warm welcome from London in the UK. Here is today's news about electric cars and the future of transport. My name is Martin Lee, and I go through every EV article online, so you don't have to. Well, coming up on today's show, we were meant to be talking about the open-top Nissan Leaf concept, BMW boosting i3, factory capacity, Ford moving its EV team, and the best electric conversions of classic cars. But I get a feeling none of that will be discussed on today's podcast because I've had the craziest 20 minutes of, however, the last many months, years probably, of me talking and writing and podcasting about electric cars and about Tesla as well. Okay, let me put this into some sort of context. Firstly, if you're new to the podcast and you discovered us because of the events of what has just happened in the last 20 minutes, firstly, welcome along, and we do this every day, and it's a general EV news podcast as well. Try and keep it to 10, 12, 15 minutes, maybe for your commute in the morning. Get it on all the platforms like TuneIn if you're listening in your Tesla, and as many platforms as possible, and you can enjoy this free podcast and the complete archive as well. So hello if you're new, and welcome along, and this will all make sense if you don't know, and you probably won't know what's just happened. So, and let me put this in more context as well. I've only just caught up with Ryan McCaffrey's Ride the Lightning Tesla podcast, which I've been listening to for years, and is just the gold standard in everything about Tesla and his granular knowledge of everything. And I'm in awe of what he knows. He's a Model 3 reservation holder. He can't wait to configure. And I've just listened to his most recent episode because I'm really behind this week. I'm super busy with the day job. And he tweeted Elon Musk, went to a movie, came out, and his notifications had blown up because Elon had replied to him directly. And the same thing just happened to me. Heading home from work, I saw a news article drop into the feed today about a rumour of Tesla shipping air cargo, which is pretty rare for any automaker. It's expensive and all those kind of things. Shipping air cargo from Europe to California. So I put a tweet out, what's this now, 24 minutes ago? Yeah, that'd be 24 minutes ago. To say this. I found my tweet from last week, and it's which said, so here's the chronological order of events. Last week I said, this time next week, Tesla will be preparing for a 6-day shutdown to upgrade the factory. From Saturday the 26th of May, is there any hope for Flufferbot? That was my tweet last week. I quoted my tweet, and I sent one 24 minutes ago, which said, last week we reported on a Tesla factory shutdown from May 26th. Today, 6 planes just flew from Europe to California, headed for Tesla. Grohmann automation and robots for Giga in the cargo? Surely that sound you heard was Elon Musk saying, hold my beer. Smiley face. End of my tweet. So I tweeted that. Okay, so I did tag Elon in it, but I didn't really ask Elon Musk a question. And besides, we are a little EV podcast from here in the UK, talking about all things electric cars. I honestly don't expect him to see my tweets. He's got 22 million followers. Then I step off the train a moment ago, and my phone starts vibrating. My watch is going mad, and I look down at my phone, and on the notifications I have set up for the iPhone Twitter app, it normally says Elon Musk tweeted, and then I have a little alert set up so I can see what he's talking about. This one said, Elon Musk replied to you. And you think, hang on, did he really? Yes, he did. And it wasn't even like a direct question that I was banging his door down with, but he just must have seen it. He must have been online at the time. It's midnight here in the UK, so what's that, an 8-hour time difference? So he replied, and I got a reply from Elon Musk. He said this, and here's Elon's tweet. And sorry, this is not the show that was written to be recorded, by the way. So I'm kind of busking this. It says, this is the new production line for battery model Zone 4. Will play a key role in getting from 3,000 a week to 6,000 a week for Model 3. Okay, let me repeat that. This is the new production line for battery model Zone 4, right, because there's 4 zones at Giga. Will play a key role in getting from 3,000 a week to 6,000 a week for Model 3. So 6,000 by the end of Q2, by the end of June. That was meant to be the burst rate, I think with probably the intention of hitting 5,000 on a, on a normal day, 6,000 on a good day. Wow. So as I was walking home, and my phone is just going, vibrating, and I'm thinking I need to reply to Elon Musk because, it's rude not to say at least thank you. So I replied 20 minutes ago to say thank you for confirming, and then I did ask a cheeky question. So that's 3 of the 4 zones nailed. And now the last I heard, there was 4 zones, 2 of them were being a bit of a problem, 2 of them are fine, and that was the last I'd read probably a couple of weeks ago. So I haven't made a fool of myself, but he says, I said, thank you for confirming. So that's 3 of the 4 zones nailed, ? Elon, we're cheering you on from Europe. #Flufferbot RIP. And since then, it's just notification after notification after notification. And it's just, if that noise you can hear in the background is my phone, let me put my phone somewhere down here because I can hear it coming through the microphone. And wow, that is, brilliant. Thank you so much. Firstly, thank you, Elon, for replying and adding some, certainly some confirmation, some meat on the bones of this story. And I no doubt that's going to be written up because everything he tweets about is written up. And it is, it's an honour and a privilege to always get a reply from someone like that. So thank you so much. I'm enormously grateful that Elon saw it and just took the whatever it was, 10, 12 seconds to bash out a reply and update us on a huge story this weekend, because the story, as I've been saying this on the podcast recently, and to anyone that'll listen, the story is not about today's production rate of Model 3s. The story is not about today's share price. The story is not about raising capital, and it's not about Elon's beef with the mainstream media. The story happened months ago when Tesla acquired an automation company, a kind of an efficiency experts. They are, you may know this, apologies if you're a super Tesla expert, way more than I am, but for anyone that doesn't know, an old German family-owned company, they're called Grohmann, been around forever, and they largely work with other car manufacturers. They used to work with other car manufacturers. They were experts in making systems work better, factories become more efficient, things getting done quicker to a higher standard. Now, notice all that time ago, Tesla didn't sign a long-term partnership agreement. They didn't sign, full of NDAs and all those kind of things, and a kind of, we're forming a partnership with the highly thought-after German company that's an expert. They bought the company. That was the story. The story was all that time ago, and some people at the time, obviously they got it because they appreciated the importance of it. But that's an earthquake of a story when Tesla acquire an automation company in Europe, in Germany, and then quietly get on with using that technology to solve the problems that we're literally talking about now in the last 15 or 20 minutes. The story isn't about 6 planes landing. It's about what they did all that time ago in acquiring an automation company. And now these are the fruits of those incredibly wise decisions, the foresight they had back then. It does show, though, that, so I'm just trying to process this in kind of in real time. So let me have a think about this. Firstly, 6 planes worth of cargo. 1 plane of cargo is a lot of cargo, and it is redonkulously expensive. 6 planes worth of robots and automation equipment is just huge. Surely that's everything to be flown from Grohmann into Giga for Zone 4 on the battery production. What else do we need to unpack from this? Because I'm trying to ignore my phone as it's going off in case anything else happens there. So the engineers that Tesla acquired with the Grohmann acquisition, they've been working since then on not so much on Fremont, but on Gigafactory and the bottlenecks there, which were certainly the early days of Model 3. That was the bottleneck in terms of the battery production. 5,000 models per week. Yep, just to recap on that, that was the target with a 6,000 per week kind of burst rate by the end of Q2. We heard that on the earnings call. I think this is a lot about subcontractors as well. It fits into a larger narrative about Elon Musk wanting to make all the parts of Tesla work together more harmoniously. And in a way, I got a sense on the earnings call about some anger towards those. Then you saw the kind of subsequent emails about subcontractors, also contractors and subcontractors and all those kind of things. And they really got it with both barrels from Elon. If you remember that email a couple of weekends ago, was it? That was, I think it was on the Friday or Saturday. It went out over a weekend or something. And it was to all staff at Giga and Fremont saying, from now on, Tesla employees must personally vouch for the subcontractors and the contractors that are coming in to work with them. They must personally vouch for them, or the security pass of the contractors would be deactivated and they wouldn't get through the gates. He did say earlier this month in May as well, he wanted to rid the company of the barnacles of contractors and subcontractors, saying their reliance on them had become out of control. So I think the story here as well, as I think about it, the story is him taking back control, not only in a kind of a literal sense that he is very much more involved now in the day-to-day, obviously, running of the Model 3 line, but in generally Tesla taking it back from those contractors into the equipment which they've now been able to fly in, and this shutdown which starts today, Saturday 26th of May, and that will fix Zone 4 as Elon replied to me. Wow, it's just kind of mind-blowing in a way, but also incredible, and I've said this before on the podcast, incredible way for a CEO to be utterly involved in every minute detail, even down to replying to people on Twitter. What's happened here? I think he's replied again. What's this? Sorry about this. That is a reply to me. Oh my god. Okay. That is a reply to my question. Okay, so by the look of it, in the last 3 minutes, so I replied to Elon probably almost half an hour ago now, and said, thank you for confirming. So that's 3 of the 4 zones nailed. Elon, we're cheering you on from Europe. #Flashbot RIP. And yeah, so I've just got all these notifications coming through, but this one's at the top, and it says, yeah, this is a direct reply to me from Elon Musk. Is this, all 4 Zone 3 throughput was solved a couple of weeks ago. So that's all 4 zones now solved. Zone 3, that's embarrassing. Oh dear, I've embarrassed myself in front of him now. No, so it wasn't 2 out of the 4, it was 3 out of the 4 were working, and he's fixing the final one. So, Zone 3 throughput was solved a couple of weeks ago. Right, I'm not going to reply to that one, but I think I've used up all of my Musk karma today, whatever made him look at my tweets today. I'm not going to, that's enormously grateful to him replying for those. Okay, so I think that I'm not going to do all of the rest of the news that I'd written for today's podcast. I think I've unpacked most of that. I've probably done it in the most incoherent way possible because I'm getting to terms with having a tweet replied to, which is super cool. We now know all 4 zones in Giga ready for 6,000 per week in June. That's huge. Big confirmation. Well, thank you very much for listening to the podcast today. Not the one that I'd written. I'm sure this is going to be part A. It's midnight here now, and I'm sure I'm going to hit the sack and wake up tomorrow morning to a load more thoughts. Tomorrow's definitely going to be part B of this, I imagine, and some of the other news that we were going to get to. Please join me in spreading the word about electric cars. That's my passion. If it's yours as well, please do share this podcast with maybe one person or even everybody on your social followers, and then together you and I can spread that word about EVs. I put every previous episode of the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, TuneIn, if you're in your Tesla, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio podcasts, and the blog at evnewsdaily.com. If you subscribe on whatever platform, it means that you haven't got to worry about downloading it. Plus, you get them first and free and automatically. It would mean a lot if you could take a couple of minutes to rate and review on whatever platform you download it on. And if you want to say hi on the socials, it's Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter. Just search EV News Daily. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll catch you tomorrow.